planning a $50 million theatrical production. Right. Like you've booked out a massive stadium, you've sold tens of thousands of tickets.
Oh, and you spent, what, 6 solid months setting up the story so the
Yeah.
climax just lands perfectly.
Exactly. But here's the catch. Your lead actor has a 20% chance of blowing out their knee before opening night.
Yeah, which is a terrifying prospect.
And if they do, I mean, you still have to put on the show live in front of the entire world. That is the exact nightmare we are looking at today. So, welcome to another deep dive. We are super thrilled you're joining us because, as the third person in this conversation, you're going to help us sort through a massive stack of sources.
Yeah, we are trying to understand a truly sprawling spectacle here. It is a machine that blurs the line between fiction and reality and physical toll and corporate strategy in a way that, well, nothing else really does.
It really doesn't. We've pulled sports journalism from Sports Illustrated and Kel. Now we've got the inside track from wrestling dirt sheets like What Culture and Wrestle Talk.
Or even digging into corporate sweepstakes rules, right?
Yeah, sweepstakes rules and premium VIP hospitality packages. So the mission today, to understand the sprawling, multi-layered machine that is WWE Summerslam 2026.
And just to set the scale for you, I mean, this isn't a standard arena show on a random weekend.
Oh, not even close. This is the 39th edition of what they bill as the biggest party of the summer. We are looking at a massive 2-night event.
Right, Saturday, August 1st and Sunday, August 2nd, 2026.
Yeah, and it's completely taking over U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It is the company's first ever stadium event in that city. I mean, the logistics alone are staggering.
What's fascinating here is that we aren't just looking at scripted sports.
Mm-hmm.
When we examine this specific event, we're looking at a masterclass in long-term narrative planning, colliding, honestly, violently, with the undeniable realities of human injury.
Yeah.
And underneath all of that in-ring drama, there is this massive, highly calibrated business machinery. It's designed to monetize fan nostalgia and high-end VIP access.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because that collision between the grand blueprint and the chaos of reality is wild. Looking at the reporting, WWE had a very clear master plan for what they wanted this weekend to look like.
Right.
And then the physical limitations of the human body just, shattered it.
You see that directly in the original leaked card.
Right. The Wrestling Observer newsletter, specifically Dave Meltzer, reported on the planned slate of matches months in advance. And it was a meticulously crafted masterclass in booking.
It really was.
We're talking Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk for the WWE Championship, which is like the ultimate story of the modern corporate standard bearer versus the eternal anti-establishment rebel.
Oh, yeah. Such a good dynamic.
Then you had Charlotte Flair taking on Jade Cargill, which is essentially the generational passing of the torch, right? From the established queen to the new physical phenomenon.
Exactly.
Plus, Trick Williams against Carmelo Hayes for the U.S. title, Gunther versus Royce Keys. I mean, every single match was designed to cap off months, if not years, of specific storytelling.
And those aren't just names pulled out of a hat. They represent, honestly, thousands of hours of television writing.
Right.
Merchandise production, promotional synergy, all of it pointing toward those specific payoffs at U.S. Bank Stadium.
But then an unscripted physical reality breaks the script. We find out Rhea Ripley suffered a legitimate knee injury.
Yeah, that was rough.
This happened at the Clash in Italy Premium Live event during her title defense against Jade Cargill. And the visual we have right now is striking. I mean, she's currently working the European tour with a heavily bandaged leg.
It's pushing through it.
But because of a very real unscripted joint issue, her planned SummerSlam match against either Alexa Bliss or Jacy Jayne is now in serious jeopardy. It was supposed to be for the WWE Women's Championship, and now it's all up in the air.
And this forces a massive corporate pivot. We have to remember the constraints here. You cannot pause a stadium show.
No, absolutely not.
The broadcast trucks are booked. The sponsors are locked in. The board doesn't care about a swollen knee, right? They care about delivering a premium live event.
Yeah.
So how does the women's division adapt to protect the marquee?
Right. What do they do?
Well, you look at what happened in Riyadh at the King and Queen of the Ring event. Io Sky wins the 2026 Queen of the Ring tournament.
Reportedly with a little help from a Danhausen curse.
Which is such a perfect slice of modern wrestling lore.
It's amazing.
For anyone unfamiliar with this, Danhausen is a comedic wrestler from a rival promotion, and he's known for putting internet-fueled curses on people.
Right, yeah.
And the fans just latch onto it to explain bad luck or chaotic outcomes. It's ridiculous, but It really shows how viral internet culture bleeds directly into the on-screen product.
Totally.
But looking at the business reality, Io Sky wins that tournament.
Hmm.
And immediately, right there in an interview with Byron Saxton, she doesn't celebrate. She targets women's world champion Liv Morgan.
Just calls her out.
Yes. She forces the issue and guarantees a high-stakes women's title match for Summerslam. It effectively secures the top of the card, regardless of whether Rhea Ripley's medical clearance comes through.
But hold on. They are a billion-dollar publicly traded company. When a massive corporate machine builds a multi-million-dollar stadium show around the physical well-being of specific human beings, how do they let a single injury cause this much panic?
Well,
Like the illusion of control they project just looks like a fragile house of cards. You realize one blown-out knee forces an entire writer's room to scrap 6 months of work.
it is controlled panic, but I'd argue it is deeply baked into their operational model.
Really?
Yeah, they are the only entertainment entity producing live, physical, stun-heavy theater 52 weeks a year without an off-season. They have contingency plans for their contingency plan.
Okay, fair point.
But it really forces you to think about how we all handle disruption, right? Think about a time your own meticulously planned project, like a massive presentation at work, a wedding, a major trip, was completely derailed by an unpredictable variable.
Oh yeah, it's the worst feeling.
The initial instinct is to force the old plan to work. But true resilience, whether you're a WWE writer or like a project manager, isn't about the structural integrity of your original blueprint.
Right.
It's entirely measured by the speed and the quality of your pivot. By immediately elevating Io Sky and Liv Morgan, they patched the hull of the ship before the audience even realized it was taking on water.
The pivot really is everything. And while the women's title picture was entirely reshaped by the physical unpredictability of the human body, the men's title picture seems anchored in something deeply, deeply predictable.
Which is?
The absolute inability to let go of the past.
Oh yeah. Human ego is the most reliable storytelling engine we have.
It never fails. So let's look at the official World Heavyweight Championship match for the weekend. We have Roman Reigns defending his title against Seth Rollins.
Right.
Now, Reigns is the champion. He didn't have to take this match, but he eagerly accepted Rollins' challenge on Monday Night Raw.
To understand why he accepted, you really have to look at the historical baggage between these two. Roman Reigns operates as the tribal chief, the untouchable head of the table. He projects total dominance. But Seth Rollins is the one guy who consistently has his number.
Always.
We're talking about a decade of history here. Rollins famously betrayed their faction, The Shield, back in 2014. Then he beat Roman for the title at Money in the Bank in 2016 after returning from his own devastating injury.
Oh, and don't forget the Royal Rumble in 2022.
Yes. He beat him again at the 2022 Royal Rumble, specifically by wearing his old tactical gear just to mess with Roman's head.
The psychological warfare is intense.
Oh.
And the language Roman uses to accept the challenge is so telling.
Yeah, how do you phrase it again?
He didn't just say, "I'll fight you." He called Seth his little brother.
Ouch.
And he looked dead into the camera and said, "I need to beat you."
See, that specific phrasing tells you everything about the underlying mechanism of the storyline. I need to beat you.
Right.
This isn't about defending a corporate championship belt anymore. It is about psychological dominance.
Yeah.
Reigns needs to erase the historical asterisk next to his legacy. He cannot view himself as the greatest of all time if the guy he started his career with still owns the psychological real estate in his head.
Here's where it gets really interesting to me. I look at the Roman Reigns character like a billionaire who has absolutely everything.
Okay, I like this analogy.
He has the private jets, the corporate empire, the magazine covers. But he is lying awake at night, staring at the ceiling, purely because the guy who used to sit next to him in high school homeroom once beat him at chess.
Yes, exactly.
It just eats at him. So how does WWE use this kind of long-term historical baggage to make the audience care so deeply without having to rely on any new gimmick matches?
Well, it works because it is rooted in universal human emotion. You don't need to add a steel ladder or a flaming table to a match when you have a meticulously documented decade of jealousy, betrayal, and unresolved tension.
That's true.
WWE is essentially rewarding the long-term viewer. They're telling you that your memory matters. When Rollins steps in the ring and laughs at Roman, the audience inherently remembers 2016.
They feel it.
They feel the history of 2022. The company leverages its own video library as an emotional shortcut, making the match feel infinitely bigger than just two guys fighting over a trophy.
So if the Reigns and Rollins match is an exploration of the inability to let go of the past, our next match on the card is about completely sacrificing the future for pure, unadulterated revenge.
You're talking about the Obafemi and Brock Lesnar situation.
Yeah, let's break down the mechanics of this because it is wild.
Right.
Obafemi wins the 2026 King of the Ring.
Mm-hmm.
He gets a totally clean, decisive win over Jey Uso to take the crown. And the prize for winning that tournament is a guaranteed world title shot at SummerSlam. It is a golden ticket to the absolute pinnacle of the industry. But what does Obafemi do? He throws it away.
Yep.
He puts his championship ambitions entirely on hold because he is so obsessed with getting revenge on Brock Lesnar after their brutal match at Clash in Italy.
And the escalation of that obsession on television was incredibly cinematic.
It was crazy. Lesnar makes his surprise return on Raw, marches down to the ring, and hits Femi with an F5.
Right, which, for those who don't know, is Lesnar's devastating signature move. He hoists a 300-pound man onto his shoulders and spins him face first into the mat.
It's brutal, and Femi somehow recovers from this, grabs a microphone, calls Lesnar a, quote, bush, and demands a third match.
Which is bold.
Very. And Lesnar not only accepts the challenge, he ups the ante to a Hell in a Cell match. Yeah. According to Sports Illustrated, this is the first time we are seeing the Hell in a Cell structure since Bad Blood 2024, which was that incredibly violent CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre match.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, though, there is a massive hidden agenda operating beneath the surface of this grudge match.
You mean the retirement rumors?
Yeah, look at the reporting from Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer, and go back and listen to an interview John Cena gave in December to Chris Van Vliet. Both heavily pointed to this SummerSlam being Brock Lesnar's official permanent retirement match.
Whoa.
And the poetry of the booking is hard to ignore here. Femi and Lesnar are tied at 1 win apiece. The tiebreaker is happening inside a steel cage and U.S. Bank Stadium. That is in Minneapolis. Lesnar is a former University of Minnesota NCAA heavyweight wrestling champion.
So it's his hometown.
Exactly. This is his hometown. It is the perfect, violent homecoming to take a final bow and pass the torch to the new monster on the roster.
But wait, look at this from a real-world sports perspective.
Okay.
In any legitimate athletic career, or any corporate career for that matter, passing up a guaranteed championship match, the literal goal of your profession just to settle a personal grudge in a steel cage, is objectively terrible career management.
Oh, absolutely. It's an awful decision on paper.
Right. Like if an NFL team gave up a Super Bowl spot to go fight a rival in an alley, we'd call them insane. Why are wrestling fans so eager to buy into a character making such a terrible professional choice?
Because wrestling fans aren't watching for sound career management or logical HR decisions.
Woo.
They're watching for primal, emotional catharsis. Obafemi, passing up a guaranteed title shot, tells the audience that his hatred for Brock Lesnar is significantly stronger than his desire for corporate success.
I see.
It elevates the blood feud above the championship belt. Think about it in a world where we all have to compromise, bite our tongues, and climb corporate ladders in our daily lives. There is something deeply, viscerally satisfying about watching a character say, keep your promotion, keep your gold. I just want to lock myself in a cage with the guy who wronged me and settle the score.
Catharsis over career progression. When you frame it like that, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
But let's shift gears from the intense, violent fiction inside that ring to the very real, highly lucrative business machinery outside the ring.
This is where the numbers get crazy.
Because the ecosystem allowing fans to buy into this illusion has evolved dramatically, and it's starting to mirror high-end luxury sports.
The media and hospitality landscape around this single event is a testament to the new era of sports monetization.
Just looking at the broadcast rights, the landscape is entirely fractured. Fans in the U.S. will be watching this event on ESPN, while international fans will be streaming it live on Netflix.
It's a huge shift.
It is, but it is the VIP economy that absolutely blew my mind when going through these sources. WWE, under the TKO umbrella, is moving away from just selling T-shirts and hot dogs. They are going after the Super Bowl and Formula One crowd.
And you see that pivot directly in the on-location ticket packages.
Yeah, they are currently running a 25% discount for the America 250 celebration on their Silver and Champion tiers, but that's just, standard ticketing.
The real focus is the ultra-high-end access.
Exactly. They are selling $650 VIP tickets to a prospect tryout on Thursday, July 30th.
That's wild.
For $650, you get a custom cooler, a Q&A session with Shawn Michaels, and this is the crazy part. You actually get to cast a vote on future athletes trying out for the company.
And that is just the preliminary event. The elite packages for the actual weekend offer backstage tours, ringside photos, and premium pre-show hospitality lounges with major stars like Gunther and Tiffany Stratton just mingling with the crowd.
And corporate sponsors are leveraging this exact same hype.
Mm-hmm.
SiriusXM is running a sweepstakes for an all-expenses-paid trip valued at over $4,000. But if you read the fine print, you had to be an existing subscriber prior to June 29th just to be eligible.
They are aggressively monetizing every single angle of fan engagement to drive subscriptions and lock in brand loyalty.
So what does this all mean? I mean, fans are literally paying $650 to sit in a gym and watch a corporate job interview.
Basically, yeah.
What does it say about modern fandom that the audience doesn't just want to watch the finished magic trick on stage, but is willing to pay top dollar to go backstage, look at the trapdoors, inspect the mirrors, and critique the lighting rig?
I think it highlights a massive evolution in consumer psychology. The modern fan doesn't want to be a passive observer sitting in the dark anymore, you know?
They want in.
They want to feel like a powerful insider.
Yeah.
By selling access to a prospect tryout and letting fans vote, WWE is brilliantly monetizing the illusion of influence.
The illusion of influence.
Right. They're letting the fan feel like they are part of the creative process, like a crucial cog in the corporate machinery. It is no longer just about cheering for the hero when they win the belt. It is about feeling like you scouted and discovered that hero before they ever made it to television.
That's a huge shift in perspective.
You aren't just buying a ticket to a show, you are buying equity in the narrative.
It is the ultimate backstage pass, packaged and sold at a premium. It is fascinating how all of these disparate elements, from the boardrooms to the emergency rooms, come together to create this one weekend in Minneapolis.
If you synthesize the entire picture we've looked at today, Summerslam 2026 isn't just a series of wrestling matches.
Right.
It is a fascinating, volatile collision of careful corporate planning, the undeniable physical realities of the human body, deeply rooted long-term psychological storytelling, and a masterful shift toward premium fan monetization.
Well, we want to thank you for taking the time to explore this massive stack of sources with us today. Our hope is that this deep dive gave you a shortcut, so the next time SummerSlam comes up, you'll be the most well-informed person in the room.
Absolutely.
You know the history between Rollins and Reigns, you understand the VIP business model, and you know exactly why Obafemi threw away his golden ticket to lock himself in a cell.
I want to leave you with one final thought to mull over, something that builds on everything we've talked about today.
Okay, let's hear it.
We discussed the heavy rumors of Brock Lesnar's retirement in Minneapolis. But if you follow the lore closely, Brock Lesnar already supposedly retired by leaving his boots in the center of the ring after losing to Obafemi at WrestleMania 42.
Oh, that's right.
The commentary team sold it as real. The Raw general manager filed the kayfabe paperwork. They completely blurred the lines of reality to trick the audience. And now, as WWE begins selling expensive tickets to let fans watch corporate tryouts, and streaming rights fracture globally across platforms like ESPN and Netflix, are we witnessing the end of professional wrestling as a traditional, closed-off television show?
Wow.
And instead, are we looking at the dawn of a completely open-source meta-reality show where the business behind the curtain, the contract negotiations, the tryouts, the real-world injuries is just as much a part of the entertainment product as the blueprints they draw up for the matches themselves?
It makes you wonder. If they are successfully selling tickets to watch the architects argue over the blueprints, maybe the fault line isn't a problem at all. Maybe the chaos is actually the main attraction. Until next time.